Hi everyone, my name is Maya and I'm a knitter based in Switzerland, or in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, and I am 28 and I hope you will like this first episode of my knitting podcast. I am both very excited and completely terrified to put this out there, so I hope you will like this content and you will be nice with me, please. So, this will be a podcast about my knitting practice, so I will share my finished objects, my works in progress, what I'm wearing, and some plans for the future, acquisitions if I do have some, and that's it. I will also try to include some footage of my day-to-day life at the end of the video, which is usually climbing related because that's kind of everything I do outside of my day job and apart from knitting. So you will get to see some glimpses of beautiful Switzerland being Switzerland, which is always amazing, and I hope you will like that. Also, I will try to include everything, links to everything I talk about in the description below. I will also try to write everything out on the screen directly, but if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask in the comments. Oh, and my measurements will also be down below in the description box, if you need that. So now let's get into things. I have a pile of stuff to talk to you about, but first let's talk about what I'm wearing, which is my not my latest, but a finished objects I finished recently. It's the Arrow Bralette by Iris Mix, and it's obviously a summer top or a summer bralette or whatever. It's very cropped because that's what I like, and also I only had 80 grams of yarn left, so that's what I had to do this. I used a yarn from a company named Méara, which is based in Ireland, but it's unfortunately discontinued. The yarn and the company actually, it closed its doors. So it was one of my favorite yarns, so I'm really sad about it, but that's life. Anyway, so this yarn is a fingering weight 100% wool, non-superwash fingering, I already said that, yarn. It's a 2-ply, and this colorway was, the name of the base is Méara. I have no idea how you say that, Méara, whatever. And the colorway is one of the colorways they made for the advent calendar from last year, and they did a pre-order in January for the 24 colorways they put out for the advent. They had 12 dyed colorways and 12 milled colorways on non-superwash base. The dyed colorways were on superwash bases, and this one was one of the milled yarns. It's a grey, but there is a slight glimpse of yellow sometimes. I really like it, it's beautiful. It's not warm, but still not cold either. I don't know, it's really nice. And yes, it's not superwash yarn, wool for a summer top. It's incredibly hot today, but I'm feeling okay for now. I'm a bit sweaty, but it would be the same if I was naked. So anyway, for now it's fine. I'm doing good. So yeah, this top I knitted on 3mm needles, which is probably what was asked for in the pattern. I don't remember. I didn't even watch this because I just know I have made a lot of summer tops in ribbing pattern, which is the case for this one, and I just know what gauge I like, especially with non-superwash fingering weight yarns. So what I did is I took the measurement of the stitch count I use for a fitted top like this, and I found out in the pattern what size that corresponded to, and I just need that size. It worked out perfectly. I made another modification, which was there is ribbing at the bottom of the top, 1x1 ribbing, and the rest of the top is 2x2, but I couldn't see the point of having 1x1 ribbing apart from aesthetics, and I don't think it looks nice, so I just omit that and went straight to 2x2 ribbing. And also I added some shaping for the bust, which shouldn't be necessary for my bust size, but I just prefer it when the fabric stretches evenly across the whole bust, even if I don't especially need more room. But that's what I prefer to do. So there are instructions for doing bust size adjustments in the pattern, but I didn't really follow them. I just watched what it looked, read through them to know approximately how they are made. It looked really similar to what I was about to do anyway, so I just did my own thing. It looks weird because it's not symmetrical on each side, because on one side I was doing the increases on the pearl column, while on the other I was doing it on knit column because the pattern was not working out for that. The stitch count was off for my purposes, not for the pattern purposes, but for what I was intending to do, it wasn't working. I should have followed the instructions in the pattern, but I didn't, so it's my fault. But I mean, it's under the arms. I was not bothered enough to rip out, so that's how it is. Anyway, oh, did I show you the back? I didn't. It's just a naked back. I don't know if there is much to see. Oh, sorry. So yeah, and the pattern on the front was really easy to do. It was really well explained. I don't know, this pattern is just great. It's just so easy and so nice to knit. It was really mindless knit for me. And yeah, I really recommend it. Did I wanted to say anything else? No, it's a great pattern, just do it. I really recommend it, it's nice. Next up we have my finished object, which I just finished 10 minutes ago. And it has nothing to do with summer because it's a scarf, and it's not a light scarf, it's a huge scarf in unspun yarn held double. It is so warm, I'm really sweating right now and I don't want to touch this yarn, but yeah, that's what I decided to knit on anyway. So that's it. Maybe you will recognize it. This is only half. It goes on and on and on and on. Again, a bit more. This is it. So yeah, it's huge. It's unblocked for now, so it has a weird shape. It's kind of curling on itself. But yeah, when it's blocked, it's gonna be even longer, I guess, because the I-cords on the borders are kind of shrinking the whole thing. Anyway, so for the yarn and everything, I used, oh yeah, no, the pattern. Even if you recognize it, this is the Moonbumps wrap, not scarf or what, Moonbumps wrap, or just Moonbumps. No, it's just the Moonbumps by Maxime Cyr, which is Max the Knitter on Instagram. And when I saw this pattern coming, I really liked it, but I couldn't find yarn that would work for it in my stash, so I didn't think about it much more than that. But suddenly I remembered this yarn, this orangey thing, which is a silk yarn. It's 100% silk. I bought that when I was in Praha. I don't know how you say that town in English. In French it's Prague. I'll write it. I have no idea, sorry. So yeah, I was there and I went to a yarn shop trying to find something that I could only find there, and I did, because I found out they had a section selling yarns that they milled themselves. I don't really know in what conditions, because the lady wasn't speaking very good English. She just could tell me it was their yarns. And so there was this 100% silk, which is kind of a DK weight. It's really, really thick. And I bought one skein, which is useless. It was a long time ago, it was at the beginning of my knitting practice, and I just wanted that yarn and I bought one skein. And I tried doing a summer top, not a fitted one, but an outline tank by Jessie May. It absolutely didn't work out. I knew how to fiddle with the gauge so that I could change the stitch counts and everything to do the same top with different yarn weight. But the thing is, this yarn is like, maybe I'll try to put a picture. It's like a 2-ply, but one ply is like one thread and the other is a really thick ply. So it gives kind of a wobbly effect to the yarn. It looks kind of curly, as if you had unraveled something, but you didn't. It's just the yarn that's kind of curly, and it wasn't working out with the straight lines of the of the dropped stitches of the outline tank. Sorry. And so I completely ripped that out, and I tried to do that was completely dumb. I tried to do a Magnolia Bloom by Camilla Vad with one skein of DK, I don't know. Since the gauge is like 12 stitches per 10 centimeters, I thought, yeah, it's really airy. I have like 200 meters. Maybe I can do just the yoke and finish the sleeves right whenever I separate for the body and have a super cropped thing, which I don't mind. And since it's a really open and airy gauge and it's silk, I thought it would work out. So I did that. I finished the yoke and I separated for the sleeve, and I had like 5 grams left. So this is the rest of the yoke. I didn't rip it out, I just left it as is in my yarn cabinet, and I just pulled directly from it to knit this piece. So this is the rest of the yoke. So you can see maybe the Magnolia Bloom pattern. So yeah, I separated for the sleeves. The gauge was actually okay, and it was at the right place on my body, but then I had no yarn left, so it would be cropped like above above my breast, so that wasn't working. So yeah, I remembered I had this yarn, and then I remembered I had some Nutiden in this dark blue shade, and I thought, well, orange and blue is beautiful. Isn't this gonna work out? If I hold the Nutiden double, I get like a 17 stitch per 10 centimeters gauge, and the pattern recommends DK for the main color and a sport for the contrast. And Nutiden held double in this colorway is actually thicker than this yarn, so it would be perfect. I just had to make some calculations to know how many stitch wide I had to do the wrap to get it to be the same width as the original pattern in DK, and that's it. So I could do it, and I did it, and it's beautiful, and I like it so much. It's so amazing. I love the effect of the dotted lines in orange in the middle of the blue. I'm just so happy. It's absolutely not the season to wear this. I am sweating and it's not blocked, but yeah, it's perfect. I like the length. I like it when my scarves are longer like this. So yeah, I hate winter and cold days, but somehow I'm kind of looking forward to it so that I can wear this. So yeah, this is my finished object. Next up, put this here. Next up, my WIPs. I have three. And the first one, let's go with I was mentioning it before. It's the Outline Tank by Jessie May. As I said before, I tried to knit it with this orange DK weight yarn. Didn't work out, so I finally decided to do it in the recommended yarn weight, which is fingering. So this yarn is Olivia and Oliver Fibers. She's based in Netherlands, so quite close to me. I mean, she's in Europe, as opposed to all the yarn dyers being in America or whatever. In the US. Did I just say America? Does anybody say that? Yeah, anyway. She's in the Netherlands, and this colorway is called I don't know. Cenote Ik Il? I have no idea. And this is one of the This is one of the colorways she put out for the 2021 Advent calendar, which is the Wanderlust calendar. I like Advent calendars colorways, it looks like. So yeah, I just love greens, and I don't usually knit with variegated yarns, but this one was so beautiful. I bought it whenever she put out the pre-order for those colorways. I bought it, and then it stayed in my stash for a year and a half, not knowing what to do with it, because I actually don't like superwash yarns, which is the case for this one. It's a fingering 100% merino wool superwash. So I wasn't sure what to do with it, and it was beautiful in the skein form, so I just kept it that way. But yeah, finally I decided to try and do this pattern with this yarn, which is a really nice combo. And I just love it. I really love the fabric it creates. I cannot wait to block it to see how it goes. I know I could block it right now, but I know the whole piece will be perfect, so I don't really need to do a mid block. I don't want to wait for it to dry. I just want to work on it. So yeah. I'm using a 3.5 millimeters needle, which is what was recommended in the pattern. I don't know if my gauge is off or not, but I tried it on and it's okay, so I don't care. Also, I did a modification for the bottom. It's knit bottom up. I need modification for the rib, because this is not rib, obviously. Don't know if you can see it, but it's a folded over brim, and this happened for two reasons. The first one is that I don't like ribbing. At the bottom of summer tops, especially, I just don't like it. It gives like a sweatshirty look that I don't like, so I just prefer folded over brims. Also, when I cast this on, I was on the go, and I just took the yarn, I wound up the yarn, took the needles, and just left my home. But I didn't think that I would need smaller needles for the ribbing, so I forgot. I only took the 3.5 millimeters needles. So I was stuck, and I decided to do a folded over brim, but you should also knit the brim with smaller needles, otherwise it will flare out. So what I did is I cast on, let's say we have a certain amount of stitches, I cast on 10% less stitches. I knit the whole thing, the whole folded over brim, and then I had to do the most complex row of my whole life, while picking up the cast on edge and knitting together with my live stitches to do the fold over. I did the 10%, I increased the 10% stitches I had removed before to get to the correct stitch count, and I did the bind off to do the outline motif that's on the pattern. You have to bind off stitches at the end of the ribbing, so at the same time as increasing and knitting together the cast on edge, I had to do those bind offs, but I had to keep the stitch count correct for the real pattern and not for the cast on edge, because I was increasing. So yeah, it was really complicated anyway, and I did do a mistake, not while I was counting for the increases and the live stitches stuff. I did a mistake right when I cast on, because I cast on too much stitches, I don't know, or too less, whatever. So the count was not working, and since I had already done the bind offs, I couldn't just fiddle with it and find my way, because otherwise the outlines would be kind of misplaced, like not in the center and not right below the arm. So it was complicated, but I find my way out of this, and I managed. I had to go back a few times, but yeah. My stitch count is kind of off, and now I am separating for the front and back, and I just had to bind off a few more stitches because I had like 4 extra stitches for the body, and I just bound that off while separating. And now I'm smooth sailing to the front, and I'm pretty sure this will be done by next week. I'm quite a fast knitter. So yeah, that's the Outline Tank by Jessie May. Next up for my works in progress, we have my Granny square blanket, which is not a blanket for now, it's just a pile of squares, but I have finished crocheting each of them. But yeah, I had some troubles. So I am doing squares, crochet squares with a 3.5mm crochet. I'm doing magic ring for the center and then 9 rows of granny squares. Pretty easy. And for each, okay, I should begin with the yarn. This is an advent calendar. I got the advent this time. It was not a pre-order for the colorways afterwards. I got the advent from last Christmas, so Christmas 2022, from Ted Knits UK. He's based in the UK. And the theme of the advent was cosmos, like cosmos, not the flowers, but cosmos, the skies, the night sky. And yeah, because the images for the inspiration were really dark and moody, and that's what I love. In the end, there were a lot of pastels, but I love pastels too, so I am really happy with all the colors in this project. So yeah, I have finished crocheting all the squares. Maybe I can show them to you. You can't see anything. The lighting is not good when I get closer to the camera. Anyway, so those were the fingering weight squares, but I had a problem with the last colorway, which is this one, because it was a mistake on the dyer's part. It was DK weight mini. It's just a mistake. I asked him if it was made on purpose. It wasn't, so he just found out a solution to compensate me for that, which he wasn't obligated to do, but I really appreciate the gesture. Anyway, and so yeah, my 24th color is a DK weight, and also I didn't have enough yarn because I'm doing 2 squares for each colorway, and I have like every time maybe 1 gram of leftover. For fingering weight it's working, but for DK it doesn't, because you need because it doesn't for DK weight. So I couldn't finish my last square. I tried using the leftovers from my last colorway to finish this square. It still wasn't enough, so I should have used like 3 leftovers from the other colorways to finish this one, which would look weird, so it's just unfinished. I'm gonna put out a video just for this project, but for summary, I am gonna use the last skein, the 100-gram skein I got with the advent, to do 20 more squares, because for now the blanket is a little bit too small. So I will add 20 more squares, and I will remove those 2 because the colors are not really fitting anyway. You probably can see it, but yeah, they are kind of neony and weird, and since it's DK weight anyway, it looked weird, so I just took them out. So I will have 2 times 24 plus 20 squares, which will be 2 times 24 minus 2 plus 20, 66 squares, and I'm pretty sure I can have more than 20 squares with a 100-gram skein, because I had leftovers from my 20 grams each time, so maybe I can do 21 or even 22 squares, I don't know. And I will, after that, piece my blanket together with oh yeah, that's the 100-gram skein colorway I got with the advent, which is, I noticed it only when I wound it up, but it's a rainbow. All the colors are in there, maybe not reds, but it's a really pretty colorway. But I wouldn't wear this as a garment, so I'm happy to use it as for some more squares. So this is the last colorway, and I will join everything with this gray, which is, do I have the tag? No, I don't. So this is also a fingering superwash yarn, but it's 70% BFL yarn with 25% nylon. I bought this when I was in a shop in Korea, and I don't speak Korean, so it was kind of difficult to choose yarn, and I had no idea in mind for this. When I got home, I tried casting it on for a summer top, for a fitted summer top, but it's a superwash yarn and it's BFL, so it's very drapey. It wasn't working at all. So I just unwound it and I kept the skin as is, and finally I decided that it would be perfect to join my colorful blanket since this is a neutral. So that's the plan. And also with my leftovers from each squares, I did a magic knot ball, which looks kind of nice. I like my hand-wound center-pulled balls. I'm kind of proud of how I do them, so yeah. This is the leftovers. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but it looks nice as is, so here you go. So, next up, for my last work in progress, it is the No Sweat shirt by Park and Knit. And this is knit using fingering weight yarn held double. This yarn is from Woolen Twine Fiber Studio. She's based in Germany. And this is a non-superwash 100% Corriedale yarn. And it's a sock yarn, so there's a high twist, and I just like the oh my god, like the look of high twist yarn. So, but this yarn is actually distashed from a friend of mine that bought it during the festive season 2 years ago, or maybe last year, I don't remember. But finally she decided that she didn't want to wear those colorways, which I really loved, so I just bought them back from her. And I had 3 skins. And I don't know what happened in my poor brain, but I found out that 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn were 1,200 meters, which was the yardage recommended for this pattern, which is a DK weight sweater with a hood. It's a cropped sweater with a long sleeved and raglan style with a hoodie. But the yardage was for DK weight, which I knew. And in my head, I thought, oh, I have 1,200 meters of fingering weight, held double, and I know I have to do it by half, so that's 600 meters of DK weight yarn. But I don't know, I had a brain fart, and I was like, oh, the meterage for my size for this pattern is 1,200 meters, so I have the perfect amount of yarn, let's cast on! And when I finished the yoke and separated for the sleeves, I had half my yarn left, which is obviously not enough to finish a sweater when you are only done with the yoke. And that's when I realized my mistake, but it was too late. Actually, no, it wasn't too late, I could have read back, but I was envisioning this pattern in this yarn so hard in my head, I just couldn't get away from it. So I wrote an email to Yule from Woolen Twine, and I asked her if she was planning on maybe dyeing some more yarn in this colorway, or maybe, because this is a variegated colorway in green and purple, very light green and very light purple. Don't know if you can see that. Probably not. So I asked her if she was planning on dyeing some more of this, or maybe some light purple, or maybe some light green. And if she wasn't, maybe she could list the undyed colorway, because there is a lot of white in this, on the shop, so that I could maybe fade, because this is worn inside out, so with the reverse stockinette showing, and it's I'm holding the yarn double, so it's actually really fitting for a fade. It would work really well. But she wasn't planning on doing that, so I had to find some similar yarn to finish my project. So I found out, I already knew about her, so I went and checked on Woolly Mammoth company, Emma. She's based in Northern Ireland, I think. Not sure. If she had some colorways, because I know she has a natural sock base, which is very similar to the Corriedale sock base from Yule. And I looked through her website, and actually she had 2 colorways that could fit, but I wasn't sure. I made some modifications because I was really tight on the yardage. No, actually I was even tighter than I thought, but I was tight anyway. So I did make some modifications to do a slightly smaller garment. I would need like 1,000 meters of decay weight. So when I decided to buy more yarn, I was like, okay, I have 600 meters. If I buy 2 more skeins, I will get exactly to 1,000. But it's gonna be tight, and I don't want to have a second time the same problem and be missing yarn. If I do get to buy more, I will buy really enough to finish. I wanted to buy 1 skein of the light purple and 1 skein of the green, light green, but I didn't know which skein to buy for the third one. Because the green yarn, actually I have them here, I can just show you because I got them since then. So the green yarn was working, but it had like a yellow undertone that I didn't really like and wouldn't fit with the white undertone in this one. So I wasn't sure for the green. And the purple looked really nice, but I don't really like purple on its own, and I would be comfortable knitting a summer top with the leftovers from the green, but not from the purple. So I wasn't sure what to do. In the end, I remembered suddenly. No, there is something else. Whenever I order yarn from abroad, that's not Switzerland, it's complicated. Because in Switzerland, when you pay online and get something delivered, the customs will check whatever you have delivered. And if the amount you paid, including shipping, is more than 60 francs, Swiss francs, which is approximately the same as euros or dollars, you have to pay for customs duty, which is 30 Swiss francs, which is like half of what you have ordered. But it's kind of always 30. It's between 25 and then it gets more expensive the more you order, but the base amount is 25 to 30. So if I order 2 skeins, which are around 30 Swiss francs each, plus shipping, which gets to like 75 Swiss francs, I have to pay 30 Swiss francs customs more, which is like 105 Swiss francs for, no, what did I say? Yeah, for 2 skeins. That's ridiculous. Usually when I order some yarn online, I will try to buy at least 4 skeins so that the customs and the shipping fees get distributed between each skein. So I wanted to buy 4. So I had the 3 I wanted to buy for the sweatshirt, but I needed the 4th one, and I'm not the one to just buy yarn just to buy yarn, and I wanted to buy something I would really know exactly in what project to use. So I thought hard about it, and then I remembered I had like 3 years ago I bought my first skein of mohair because I wanted to try it out, and I just took whatever. I was in my local yarn shop, and I just took the first skein of mohair I could find. It was a light purple, like this one, and I still have it because I don't like light purple. I used it in a small project, and I have like 40 grams left. And I never knew what to do with that mohair. I gave it to a friend, actually the one who sold me the yarn for this. I gave it to her, but she never used it either because I don't think she likes light purple either. So I remembered we had this yarn. So I thought, okay, I can buy 2 skeins of the purple, 1 skein of the green, and I found a 4th color I could use and pair with the leftover purple with the mohair I had in my stash. And this 4th skein is this one that I actually wanted to buy for a long time but couldn't find a reason to, but now I have. And this is a limited edition yarn that Emma put out like last year probably, or maybe at the beginning of this year, and it's okay, hold on. Swartpulse and Blue Texel yarn. It's 100% non-superwash, 50%. What I am saying? It's a non-superwash yarn, 50% Swartpulse, 50% Blue Texel, and it's milled close to her. I think it's a very local local mix, and it's a sport weight, which is perfect. It's like, since it's woolen spun, it's actually really thick. I can see it's really thick, and it's listed as a fingering weight, but I know it will bloom a lot with washing, so it's a thick sport weight. And since I wanted to use this fingering with the mohair, I would get a decay, so it would pair perfectly. And I had in my pattern stash, I had the Inclination Scowl by Andrea Maury that I had bought in December. And I planned to use some stash yarns, but it didn't work out in the end. And I was just waiting for the perfect yarn to pop up in my stash in the form of leftovers, because I didn't want to buy yarn for this Inclination Scowl because it's less than 2 skeins, and I just knew it would be perfect for leftovers. So it's not exactly leftovers because I'm buying a skein for it, but this one will be once I'm done with the sweater. And the mohair is too. So I'm just so happy. I'm very proud. I waited for the right time and the right yarn to arrive in my life to knit this pattern, and yeah, that's it. So now I can finish my sweatshirt and I can knit the Inclination Scowl, and my life is perfect. And I'm so happy. And this is absolutely not a summer project, and I'm, as the pattern name does not suggest, I am sweating. But yeah, I'm really happy I will be able to finish this, and I can wear it during the cold summer nights here whenever I'm in the mountain. And yeah, that's it. Did you see I smoothly included my plans and acquisitions in the middle of my last work in progress. Kind of proud. Okay. So that's it for today. I have also made kind of a smooth transition with the end of the episode, because I will now... Wow! I need to stop filming because I cannot talk anymore. I will now be inserting some footage of my life, which is, as I said before, mainly revolving around climbing. That's what I do. That's what I love. And last weeks, I usually go out to climb outdoors during the summer, every week, even during the evenings in the weekdays. Some crags are not as beautiful as others, you will see. Or maybe not. I probably won't put the footage of the crags that look weird. I will probably put the informations of the places I went to on the screens. And also note that whenever we are going outside to climb, we are really going outside to climb. So I don't really have an opportunity to just stop everyone and say, okay, please can we take 10 minutes so that I can put up my camera mode and find the best spot to film or whatever. We are just going. So I don't have a lot of footage. I try my best, but yeah, it won't be a lot. But I hope you will like it anyway. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope there wasn't too much noise outside. I'm kind of close to the road, so I hope it was okay. And to the 10 people that will watch this video, please take the time to maybe leave a comment, and please tell me where you are from. I am fascinated by this, by the fact that we can connect with people that are thousands of kilometers away from me just by a click. I just love that. And please let me know where you are from, and also what you are knitting on. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And also regarding the climbing stuff, I will put at the end. Probably it won't be very clear, I don't know, because I'm so captured by it. I don't know if everything is understandable by everyone. So if you have any questions regarding that, do not hesitate to put them down below. And yeah, that's all for me. Thank you very much. Please consider subscribing if you like this content and would like to see more. And I hope to see you soon with the second episode of this knitting podcast. Bye bye!